Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk. Listen to great books every day, bringing you the best from around the globe. Today's book is Women's Poverty, a representative work from the NHK TV social documentary series, Japan's National Public Broadcasting Organization.
In Japan, 1 out of every 3 working women lives in poverty.
Note: working women.
We see well-dressed women with perfect makeup in Tokyo's Ginza and Shinjuku districts, but behind their glamorous appearances lie shocking poverty-crushing debts, despite hard work, homelessness, and children left uncared for. NHK's 镜头揭示了这些触目惊心的现实。A 24-year-old returnee owes 5 million yen after college, working restaurant jobs 2 years post-graduation for 800 yen, hours sometimes surviving on 1 iced coffee daily. A 19-year-old cyber sex worker lives in an internet cafe cubicle, juggling 3 part-time jobs to repay student loans. Her mother works 2 jobs, yet struggles to make ends meet. Taking a break means no food on the table.
This is happening in Japan, an economic powerhouse with supposedly robust welfare system, in an era of recognized women's rights.
Even educated women go hungry. Female poverty isn't just Japan's problem.
2015 World Women's Summit data shows over half of the world's extreme poor are female. Female poverty exists not just in developing nations. It thrives in developed countries too.
Single mothers in the US, Canada, and UK face triple the poverty rates, as women aren't seen as independent entities.
In Japan, people assume poor women can reverse their fate through education and good jobs. Women should just rely on husbands, no responsibilities. How easy.
These stereotypes mask female poverty. What NHK calls invisible poverty.
NHK investigates Japan's worsening young female poverty through case studies and labor data analysis.
19-year-old Yumi comes from a single-parent family. Her father died when she was in 1st grade, and her mother's poor health and unstable income plunged them into poverty. Since high school, Yumi has worked grueling shifts at a convenience store, earning 50,000 yen monthly, about 2,900 Chinese yuan. But she must pay her tuition, support her sick mother and school-going sister, leaving barely anything for daily meals. Often surviving on 1 meal a day, she takes expired convenience store bentos for her sister's dinner, exhaustion overwhelming her.
Yet Yumi completed correspondence high school courses, clinging to education as her lifeline.
At graduation, she faced her first life hurdle. Dental nurse training costs derailed her dreams. Even correspondence courses required hundreds of thousands of yen. Japanese university tuition can reach 46 million yen, 200,000 minus 300,000 Chinese yuan. Poor students often abandon full-time colleges and vocational schools, opting for correspondence courses or dropping out entirely. Yumi surrendered, abandoning nursing to pursue preschool teaching.
She enrolled in night classes at a teacher's college offering financial aid.
Still, the program would cost 3 million yen over several years. To afford it, she worked double shifts and took 100,000 yen month student loan. Her second life hurdle debt. Japan's student debt crisis. 1.41 million borrowers, with undergraduates owing 46 million yen after graduation. 90%, like Yumi, have interest-bearing loans repaying tens of thousands monthly for 20 years, finishing near age 50. Japan now sees surging loan defaults nearly half due to post-graduation low wages.
But it's too early to worry about Yumi's debt repayment now.
Yumi's first challenge is securing stable employment, the third barrier for impoverished women.
Post-2008 financial crisis. Only 2/3 of Japanese graduates secure permanent position. Others become contract workers.
Contract workers earn significantly less with no benefits or job security. Here, gender disparities emerge. Japan's employment discrimination runs deep.
Male-prioritized corporate culture systematically disadvantages women in career opportunities and compensation. If Yumi becomes a preschool teacher, does that guarantee escape from poverty?
Income becomes her fourth barrier. Let's calculate her financial reality. Even as a preschool teacher, she'll find the profession's rewards dwarfed by its demands. 2013 data shows Japanese preschool teachers averaged 3.1 million yen annually, 180,000 Chinese yuan, 25% below corporate employees. Meager income versus massive debt creates unbearable pressure.
Does higher education guarantee better earnings?
Each. Sahai pseudonym. The overseas-educated woman from earlier answers, what good is a bachelor's degree? After graduation, she earned 140,000 yen, month after taxes at a Tokyo government-affiliated compicilus than preschool teachers. She quit after 2 years, a mere 10 yen raise, with 75,000 yen fixed expenses and 30,000 yen loan payments, leaving only 25,000 yen monthly.
In Tokyo, a single ramen bowl costs 701,000 yen.
Education's power to lift women from poverty proves disappointingly limited. Poor girls face crushed aspirations from unaffordable tuition and lifelong debt traps. Even after overcoming educational and employment hurdles, crushing debts and meager incomes remain insurmountable barriers.
Some argue, if education can't change fate, perhaps marriage can. Marriage is a woman's second rebirth. The belief that relying on husbands lifts financial burdens without responsibilities. But is this truly the case?
If self-reliance struggles to alter destiny, marriage introduces greater uncertainties. Impoverished women face 4 new barriers. First, partner selection.
The assumption that marriage lifts poverty requires fairy tale encounters with wealthy partners, statistical improbability.
Reality, low-income individuals predominantly meet others in similar financial straits. Women lamenting unmarried status often find equally impoverished male counterparts. Burdened by 5 million yen debt sees marriage as unattainable. Nobody wants a partner drowning in debt. Marrying someone equally precarious perpetuates poverty. Second barrier, childbirth, perilous choice for impoverished women. While childbirth symbolizes hope,
For the poor, it risks devastation.
Most Japanese women work non-permanent jobs. Maternity often terminates contracts. Even permanent employees struggle post-maternity leave. Child care emergencies jeopardize careers.
Many become housewives, precarious workers. With unreliable husbands risk complete destitution. Third barrier: domestic injustice in patriarchal societies. Sacrificing careers for motherhood rarely earns reciprocal respect.
Sasaki Harum, 40 sextop student and former corporate employee, exemplifies this struggle. Harum sacrificed her promising career due to her husband's job transfer.
As a housewife, her husband, a model citizen, outside verbally abused her. No company wants you because you live off me.
Harum eventually suffered mental collapse, sought therapy, and divorced with her children. NHK documented women enduring physical, psychological abuse due to financial dependence.
Some finally fled their husbands' homes at night like escapees. Others escaped abusive spouses with only the clothes on their backs.
Fourth barrier emerges: single motherhood struggles. Society fails both unprepared single mothers and their children. Under 40% of Japanese divorcees secure child support agreements. Only 20% receive payments. Long-term employers discriminate against single mothers.
Women surviving without male support face societal hostility.
Some single mothers work 4 jobs to survive. At Tokyo single-parent aid centers, families sharing 3 carrots for dinner, households without rice. Aid workers describe single mothers as living in hellfire.
Part 1. Summary. Japanese women face 8 poverty traps. The 8 barriers: education, debt, employment, income, marriage, childbirth, domestic injustice, single motherhood.
These locks seal their life trajectories.
Now to question 2. What perpetuates this invisible poverty? Western proverb: 3 things can't be hidden: coughs, poverty, and love. Why does society remain blind to women's 8 poverty cycles? 3 invisible mountains: obscure reality, structural oppression, cultural blindness, and systemic neglect. The first mountain is perception. The root of female poverty lies in viewing women as male appendages.
Eastern society's 3 obediences and 4 virtues doctrine chains women to patriarchal cycles: father, husband, then sons.
Women's material conditions remain determined by male family members.
Though feudal systems have nominally ended, Japanese society still assumes women will eventually marry and depend financially on husbands.
Japan's social security systems presuppose male breadwinner family models. This mentality not only traps poor women, but drags down middle-class women too.
Harum Sasaka, formerly middle-class, lost her career for marriage, endured abuse, and descended into poverty post-divorce. Despite fluent English, she couldn't regain formal employment after divorce.
This first mountain perpetuates poverty and shapes social systems neglecting women. The second mountain, workplace gender discrimination, a global issue persisting even in Western nations. Recent data. Under 4.2% of Fortune 500 CEOs are women.
Japan's cutthroat corporate culture intensifies female struggles in male-dominated fields. Single mothers face particularly brutal job markets post-divorce.
Japan's 2013 poverty line, 2 million yen annually, 116,000 Chinese yuan.
Over 80% of young female contract workers aged 15-34 live below this threshold.
This second mountain affects women globally through systemic disadvantage.
Women's comparative weakness in workplace competition.
The third mountain, collapse social safety nets for women. If women's survival barriers are glass ceilings, the social security system should be their safety net.
Japan's welfare systems, designed for male breadwinner families, fails single women entering the workforce.
Discrimination-induced low incomes worsen under Japan's regressive social insurance premiums.
Women lose childcare subsidies if annual income exceeds 2.3 million yen, barely above poverty line.
This creates cruel paradox. Harder work leads to net income loss.
International poverty solutions focus on employment, but Japan's women lack childcare, housing support to work.
Public daycare privatizes poor, single-parent families in theory.
Chronic staff shortages render policies ineffective nationwide. Many single mothers pay premium for private daycare, deepening poverty.
Japan's fragmented aid systems require separate applications for housing, job, child care support.
Young women braving bureaucratic mazes often abandon hope after initial rejection.
Who mends the safety net when women hit rock bottom? NGOs partially fill gaps, adoption agencies, single mother support groups.
But NGOs alone can't solve systemic collapse.
Thus emerges a grim irony. In women's poverty, sex shops becoming lifelines. Sex industry offers income and living support, a damning indictment of systemic failure. The book mentions women in the sex industry earning 300,000 yen monthly, 17,000 Chinese yuan on average. More crucially, the industry provides single mothers with housing, childcare, and medical support networks.
Japanese nightclub websites advertise single mothers welcome dorms and childcare provided, featuring mother-child imagery.
Taglines. Claim earn living expenses while parenting suffering alone.
Some clubs operate in-house nurseries or subsidize 50% of external childcare costs. Others maintain 40-plus staff dormitories for house-and-secure women. NHK found this work causes severe psychological trauma.
Some women vomit secretly after client sessions. Clubs enforce high turnover policies to maintain freshness, discarding workers periodically.
This temporary solution drags women deeper into poverty and despair.
This constitutes the third mountain of female poverty. Third question. What are the consequences? How should society respond? The feminization of poverty, coined by U.S. sociologist Diana Pierce, 1978 reveals gendered poverty patterns. Women comprise over half the impoverished in developed nations, ratio worsening annually. Hence the global maxim, poverty wears a woman's face.
Japan sees 50-plus child abuse deaths yearly, 70% perpetrated by biological mothers. NHK links. These tragedies to unaddressed intergenerational poverty cycles are earlier examples, Sa'ai and Yumashao, how poverty traps generations despite desperate efforts. Thus, poverty becomes hereditary, locking the underclass in perpetual stagnation.
The World Bank recognizes this vicious cycle. A World Bank report identifies gender inequality as a key obstacle to poverty eradication. True poverty reduction requires prioritizing female empowerment.
Ignoring female poverty risks national developmental collapse. Female poverty isn't just women's issue, it cripples societal progress.
How to enact change. NHK journalists urge societal recognition of invisible female poverty. Implement systemic microreforms.
Japan's current safety nets for independent women remain fundamentally flawed.
Next steps. Repay systemic cracks through institutional redesign. Example 1. Replace predatory student loans with subsidized education for impoverished women. Example 2. Incentivize corporations to hire women through tax breaks. Example 3. Government-funded childcare for 0-3-year-olds to enable career continuity. Example 4. Enforce child support payments and provide comprehensive employment assistance. The book concludes, Japan stands at a crossroads of sustainable development. Will we actively combat female poverty or perpetuate willful ignorance? The choice is clear. This concludes our discussion on female poverty. Full notes below. Goodbye.